All right. Hey guys, welcome back to the Underground. This is Interactive Chat Volume 76, our mostly weekly Solo Man podcast where we talk about everything: news, reviews, state of plays, trailers, announcements, PC support. Yes, everything PSVR2 related. My name is AJ. What is up, guys? So good to see you. I have missed you. It's been a couple weeks since I've done one of these. Because it's supposed to be every week, but you know, sometimes there's just timing is not always right. So I'll do my best to keep it consistent, but hey, we gotta be flexible around here. But what is up, guys? So good to see you. I have missed you, and we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. Happy spooky season, man. I hope everyone's been having a really fun, safe, and awesome spooky season. I sure have. I've been tearing through different scary movies, scary games, and got plenty more to go. Awesome stuff, man. My favorite recent movie I watched was Oddity, Oddity, and it was so weird. And it's the first movie I've ever watched that I enjoyed talking through the entire movie and being like, what the heck is going on, but why? But yeah, recommend that. I want to go see Smile 2 at some point. And then of course revisit all the classics, but we're not here to talk about movies, are we? No, we are here to talk about PSVR 2 news and stuffs. And this is of course Interactive Chat, where I like to interact with you guys and say, what is up to Blue Jew, the 6 feet underground game cat, elite name squad in the house. I love it. Jeremy the NES rookie, what up, my homie? Bambino Ramos, my brother, what's up, dude? Quill, I miss you, Quill. Where's the third game? Where's the third game, Quill? I need it in my veins. Quill, the game cat in the house tonight, says that new Walkabout is awesome. Good to know. Oh yeah, it's like the 8-bit thing. I don't even have that on the run of show tonight. But yeah, Walkabout Mini Golf did get, like, I think a new 8-bit inspired course or something. I look forward to checking it out. Walkabout Mini Golf is awesome. Also great Halloween levels if you haven't checked them out either. Salvador, my dude, what is up, man? Let's go, baby. Mal Eo, Kill Artist, the Dreamweaver, Game Cat, what is up, man? Joel, good to see all of you. Before we get into the news real quick, which we have a lot of stuff. So we've got some news, we've got some new announcements. Arken, good Lord, you guys. Arken has dropped a brand new trailer, and wow, and a release date and some new infos that we will absolutely get into here pretty soon. But good Lord, man, that trailer was impressive. I can't wait to talk about it, break it down. But this is, of course, spooky season. So we've got some spooky news for you today, and I've got my spooky beer. Cheers to everyone out there. I don't really drink a lot. I rarely drink, in fact, but I really do love October beers. This is just Samuel Adams Oktoberfest. I have been really loving the Terrapin Oktoberfest. Terrapin is a local brewery here in the Atlanta area, and it is awesome. Terrapin Oktoberfest. Get it if you can. But if you can't, Samuel Adams will do. Yeah, man, we've got some non-spooky news with some new game releases. 3 new updates have just released. 2 new games have launched today. Vendetta Forever, which we are going to be sharing. I've got first impressions for 3 different games. I've been doing my homework for you guys. I know that there was no Gamescast this week, but I tried to do my due diligence and check out everything I could. And we'll gladly share my first impressions of Vendetta Forever. I think you're going to want to hear them. And then Whitewater VR Extreme Kayaking, I think it's called, which just like dropped today. And then, of course, No Man's Sky, the gift that keeps on giving, has the curses update. I love that he had the curse emoji, but they gave us a Halloween update. And can't wait to share some footage and talk about that as well. All right, so before we get started, once again, just want to give a quick shout out, do some housekeeping to these lovely, fine people down here. Support me on Patreon at patreon.com/PSVR Underground. I appreciate you guys so much. Welcome, Not Sure, Brondo. It's what plants crave, my newest member. Appreciate you, man. Got you and Faith. Appreciate you guys, man. Welcome to the familia. And yeah, man, it's been a little quiet on there, but hope to have some stuff on there pretty soon for you guys. A little extra content if you're interested or just want to support the channel. I've been doing a lot of stuff on this channel here, so haven't had as much time for that, but I would love to do some stuff. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into it. So this is spooky season. And so I want to kick things off with a couple spooky announcements. Guys, possibly one of the biggest horror games of all time is launching next week. Is it next week? I think it is next week. It is next week. Next Tuesday, Phasmophobia is arriving on consoles. And yes, there is an optional PSVR2 mode that we can play. Now, the plan here is once we get our review keys or whatever, buy the game, whatever we have to do to play this game. I know Brian's not going to miss this one. This is one we've been waiting for years. So really, really excited about this. And I think the game plan is that me, Brian, Wes, and Miles are going to team up in this 4-player co-op ghost hunting adventure, and this game is available to wishlist now, and really excited about this one. Now they have said, I think that the one little feature that is a big one, but it's one feature, but it is an important one. I don't think it's going to be there at launch. That has to do with the spirit box machine, where you can talk into the thing and talking to the spirit box and say things, and it just apparently is really creepy and stuff. So really looking forward to that. Let's take a quick look at some features that we can expect. Whoopsies. On shout out the Patreons. That we can expect on Phasmophobia. Phasmophobia is a 4-player. Wait, let me make sure I've got everything set up here right. Okay. Well, the video is going to play on there, so I guess we'll just look at both. That's fine. Phasmophobia is a 4-player online co-op psychological horror game. You and your team of paranormal investigators will enter haunted locations filled with paranormal activity and try to gather as much evidence as you can. Use your ghost hunting equipment to find and record evidence to sell on to a ghost removal team. Investigate, immersive experience, realistic graphics and sounds, as well as minimal user interface. Ensure a totally immersive experience that will keep you on your toes. Of course, nothing is as immersive as VR. Unique ghost. Identify over 20 different ghost types, with each with unique traits, personalities, and abilities to make each investigation feel different from the last. Use well-known ghost hunting equipment such as the EMF readers, spirit boxes, thermometers, and night vision cameras to find clues and gather as much paranormal evidence as you can. Find cursed possessions that grant information or abilities in exchange for your sanity. Play your way. Choose from over 10 different haunted locations, each with unique twists, hiding spots, and layouts. So with 5 default difficulties and daily and weekly challenges. Oh, interesting. I did not actually know about that. There are plenty of ways to test your skills. Dive in head first. Get your hands dirty searching for evidence while fighting for your life. If you're not feeling up to the task, play it safe and support your team from the truck by monitoring the investigation with CCTV and motion sensors. I have a feeling, guys. I have a suspicion that Miles might like being out in the truck monitoring us and the situation the most. Create your own games to tailor the difficulty to your own group's needs with proportional rewards, and come up with crazy game modes of your own. Crossplay, so it will play alongside your friends on other platforms, so this does support crossplay. Phasmophobia supports all players together. Play with your friends with any combination of input types, and then play alongside with your friends with the 4 players in this co-op horror where teamwork is key to your success. So there it is, guys. Next week, we get the thrill of a lifetime with some Phasmophobia. Again, it's just so nice to have a really high-profile, huge horror release during October. Because October, there's always like a million things planned, and then it always falls through. So I'm really, really excited to jump in and check this one out. Although this October hasn't been too bad. We did have Arizona Sunshine Remake recently, which was very, very good. We also had Max Mustard, which was not very spooky. But what up, Imzadi? Yes, can't wait to talk about No Man's Sky. Looper, dogging on Phasmophobia, saying it's overhyped. We'll find out, my friend. We shall find out together. I'm pretty excited about it. Aside from Madison VR, Phasmophobia was my next most anticipated title. So I've been really excited about this one. Yeah, cannot wait. But that is not all the spooky news we have for you guys. Lots of devs doing us solid with some spooky updates. Who is that? Digital Delirium, what up, homie? Says, AJ, Digital Delirium, are you buying games on PCVR or PSVR2 if they come out for both? Typically buying them on PSVR2. I like my PC for stuff that I can't play on PSVR2. So unless, there could be some exceptions here and there, but 99.9% of the time, I'm going to be playing on PSVR2 because it's optimized and don't have to do any tinkering, don't have to mess with any settings. Plus, you usually get the extra features like the haptics, adaptive triggers, headset rumble. These are all really important features that do a lot for the immersion, and I love these features. They're truly next gen, awesome features. So I typically between the two will play like stuff like Alien, Rogue Incursion, Wander, all this stuff coming out. I will be playing on PSVR 2. But again, for all the stuff I can't play on PSVR 2, I sure as hell am going to be playing on PC, especially like mods and flat games and UEVR, things like that. Those are also great. But Puzzling Places, man, gotta give a quick shout to Puzzling Places dropping another spooky update. Because this is a really great game, and it's, not really my cup of tea, but I've always enjoyed it. But here's the thing. They have this new DLC called Dance of the Damned. And this is a free DLC that just dropped. It's a free Halloween update. And something I really like about this is something that they did with the deep dive, the summer dive DLC, which was amazing, and that is dynamic puzzles that actually move and are animated. I think that this is really, really cool, a great cool dynamic to Puzzling Places for them to add. So mad respect to them for dropping this out of nowhere. I haven't had a chance to play this yet, but I look forward to checking it out. I like seeing all of the ghouls get down and dirty on the dance floor. Pretty good stuff, man. So if you have Puzzling Places, make sure you go check out this update for spooky season. And remember, they've added multiplayer, so you don't have to do it alone. You can play with a friend, a significant other, whoever, your mom, your grandma, your dad, whoever it is you want to, your kids. But yeah, just had to give a quick shout out to Poopla, as we like to call it here, for the Dance of the Damned free update. Nihilist Ryan, my metal feline friend, thank you so much for the donation and getting that tip train going. Choo choo. More like a ghost train though now, right? So it still sounds like a choo choo, but it's more ominous and eerie and atmospheric. And there's fog machines. Metal Brother, what up, my dude? Says too many games, great problem. I agree. There are a lot of really great games constantly. And it's a lot to keep up with. I've had to resort to kind of focusing on just the things that interest me the most or interest people the most, as well as just what I have time for, what I could squeeze in. And I've been playing. I used to be, before I started doing this channel, I was very much like like I focus on one game for like 20, 30 hours until I platinum it or whatever, and then I move on. I have changed. I am a changed man from all these games coming out constantly. I am going more of the Dave Station ice cream testing approach, taste testing approach, which has served me well, no pun intended. But also shout out Dave. But yeah, I've been making significant progress in games, but I haven't actually finished them. So yeah, it's definitely, even I have a backlog right now. So I'm not used to saying that. I usually don't have a backlog. I usually keep my backlog pretty clean, but man, just a lot to keep up with. So many exciting things dropping constantly to check out. So, heck yeah, man. Cheers. Let's see here. All right. So before we get into a huge announcement from today, a quick interesting update that I wanted to point out. Got an update from both the Max Mustard and Snow Scout devs, different developers, different games. But both of them have taken to Reddit recently to talk about and shared with us a little bit of an update on their game. And both Max Mustard as well as Snow Scout have talked about their game having some pretty massive success. Well, I wouldn't say massive, but a lot of success, more success on PSVR2 than other platforms. So I think this price reduction and the PC adapter and all this stuff, I think Sony has been doing some good moves in the background. Obviously, we want to see more first-party support. We want to see better marketing. We want to see about 1,000 different things that they could do better. But it is good to know that the PSVR2 is still can be a viable platform for growth, especially for like smaller developers. So shout out to Max Mustard devs and the Snow Scout devs. Congratulations. The Snow Scout devs said that their game Snow Scout made more money in the first month than it did in the entire 2 years on PC VR. So means two things. Number one, we are starved for good games, which we certainly are. But number two, we also get down and appreciate and purchase a lot of games. A lot of stuff spreads by word of mouth here, and it's really important. So good job to all of you out there who bought and picked up these games and supported them. And yeah, I really enjoyed both of them quite a bit, actually. So good stuff, man. But now we have some other stuff to talk about. As something I mentioned earlier, Arken Age, you guys. Holy crap. Did you guys see this Arken Age trailer from earlier today? So we finally got a release date for this game. This is, of course, coming to us via Vitruvius VR, who made Mervils and also made Shadow Legend, which was pretty good. But yeah, I mean, humble beginnings, right? I mean, Mervils was a pretty fully featured game for the time, especially, and I give it a lot of crap, but I think I joke around too. I also do think that there, aside from the atrocious character designs that give me nightmares, that there was actually a lot of game there and a lot of quality there. But lo and behold, the brand new trailer for Arken Age, and you guys, this is huge, man. This game is looking like a really big deal to me, and this trailer has gotten me more excited for this. I mean, I was already pretty excited about this game, but this trailer just sealed the deal for me completely. The amount of stuff here. So the game is coming. They have announced it's been pushed into next year. I don't know if it was ever announced for this year or not. I think it was expected to be. I don't know if it was ever officially announced for this year, but January 16th. So 2025, you guys. We already know that we have a pretty stacked rest of the year. So it is nice that we are going to be kicking off January with some pretty good stuff. And we know that there's a couple other releases too coming out. Um, but dude, this trailer, I mean, this game to me, first of all, the aesthetic of it, the mix between the blend of sci-fi and fantasy, I think they did a pretty exceptional job with the art design here. It looks like very original. Um, and of course, there's like just so much going on to unpack from this trailer. We already know that this game supports either 120 frames reprojected or 90 native. Does have DFR, eye tracked foveated rendering. Likely will support haptics adaptive triggers. I think they've already confirmed that. But this world itself is looking very, very interesting to me. And the scope of this game also seems to be pretty big. Now, they've been working on this since like 4 or 5 years now. And so they've been making sure that this is a pretty big game. They've also announced that the game is around like 15 hours long for the main campaign, I believe. And that is awesome, man. So this is like turning out to be a full-fledged game. You know, not just bringing the VR AF mechanics that the Vitruvius VR devs literally, that term was coined after them from Without Parole. But good Lord, man. Let's break it down. The things we see in the trailer here. Okay, already, like the weapons. There's a big combination of weapons here from these futuristic sci-fi looking rifles, crossbows. There's melee combat. And not only is there melee, but there's like dismemberment to these robot skeleton warriors, whatever they are, lizards. But there's tons of weapons here. And not only that, but you can actually customize them as well. There's a whole customization place where you can place down the weapon and attach different things for different stats, different combinations. I even spotted like a throwing axe that they have in here. They're showing off these climbing mechanics with these little picks. Here's the weapons being customized right here. I mean, that is a big boy right there. But all of the like physics, the VR interactions, everything is looking really, really nice here from that standpoint. And then of course it's got some of that adventuriness mechanics too that Shadow Legend had, which is like the climbing and the zip lining, things like that. Here's some kind of interactive map that they're messing with here. But yeah, there's dual wielding. He's got like a laser rifle in one hand and a throwing axe in the other hand, and some pistols and all sorts of stuff. But the enemy designs, there's blocking, there's stabbing. He rips off his head. There is a lot of stuff going on here in this trailer, and this is looking really, really quality. I am very, very excited about this. All these different weapons look pretty fantastic. But then, of course, one of the things that really, really got me excited about this were the big boss fights that they showed off here. This game looks like it has some massive bosses that you take on. And even with something really exciting like Behemoth coming out, they actually showcased some impressive looking boss mechanics here in this trailer, where you're using those pickaxes that you were climbing like a wall earlier with. Now you're climbing up the leg of one of these massive bosses and breaking their weak points to kind of break them down and then be able to do more damage to them. So I love this particle dismemberment that you see here. I mean, there's like the technology falling off them. There's some blood. There's some just like their stuff just breaking off of them, armor breaking. Really good looking stuff here. So I'm really, really excited about this game. This honestly, I mean, I'm trying to think of like what all else is planned for 2025, but I don't know if there's anything I'm more excited about at this point than Arken Age to kick off 2025 with. I don't remember when Wanderer got delayed till. I don't remember if that. Oh, I think the Wanderer was delayed without a new release date. So maybe 2025. But here's the look at the bosses here. And look at this, like climbing up and hitting the weak spots. Really, really impressive stuff. I love the bit of platforming, like something you would do in like Astrobot or Max Mustard, where the boss jumps or ground pounds, and there's like a laser that goes across the ground, laser rings that you have to jump over. Really impressive looking stuff here. And yeah, man. Oh, it's got an Oculus logo now. So it said Oculus. Oculus? That's strange, right? Because Oculus is not a thing. Why does it say Oculus? That's very strange. I guess maybe because it supports PC or Steam VR, but I just suddenly became very confused. That is a name I haven't heard in a long time. What up, Leatherfaceville? Headbite, Chrome Colossus, my dude. Awesome Tatum in the house. Good to see you. Lofty Lofty says reminds me of Stormland. Honestly, this game to me is like, I don't know about like story wise, but aesthetically, I don't know why, but it kind of gives me like this, this is the Halo of VR kind of vibes. It seems like a really, really big deal, and I'm very impressed with what I've seen, and I'm really excited about it. But yeah, this is I love the fusion of sci-fi and fantasy. That's something that's really easy to screw up, and it's looking pretty cool. So it's called the Meta PC Link store now. Yeah, I have no idea where they got the Oculus thing from, but Headbite says boss fights are looking epic. Chrome Colossus says, wasn't it like 15 to 25 hours? I suppose maybe it's 15 for like, mainline, like mainlining the story, and then 25 to like platinum or something. But that was the biggest problem with Shadow Legend VR, which was an otherwise great game, but it was just too short. It was like 3 hours long, and I don't care, no matter really how good a game is, most of the time, there are exceptions, but most of the time, like a 3-hour game is just not enough. It's not enough to leave a lasting impression with you. And as good as Shadow Legend was, it did kind of, it was kind of forgettable to me in a way, because it was just so short. Like I didn't have time to let things like soak in. I just kind of blasted through it, and it just flew by, and it was really good. But yeah, so I'm hoping that, they've got like the underwater mechanics here, some swimming. I'm expecting really, really good things here. And yeah, I love all the weapons, all the aesthetics. Everything is looking very good. There's blocking. Look, he's blocking shooting with a sword. I mean, and a shield and all this stuff. Really, it looks like some really good melee and some really good shooting. So that is awesome. And some good boss fights here. So big news drop today. Really excited about Shadow Legend VR. Cannot wait. Shadow Legend hype. I'm Shadow Legend. Arken Age. But yeah, this is looking really good. Flame hat, the game cat, fire. Let's see here. Awesome Tatum says Arken Age. Imzadi, you finished Arizona Sunshine Remake and all the DLC yesterday. What did you think? Let me know what you thought of it. I thought it was pretty darn great. Imzadi says Arken looks very cool. Let's hope it lives up to the hype. I agree. Headbite says Arken Age hype. Der Schnuff, what up, my dude? But yeah, man, awesome announcement today. Really, really good stuff. So we will have to kind of put this in the bag for now and just wait till January. There's going to be a lot of big releases in between now and then, but good God, is this looking great, and cannot wait. All right, so now it is time to get into some first impressions of some stuffs. 2 games released today. Whitewater VR Extreme Kayaking. I got to remember that. As well as Vendetta Forever. So let's go ahead and share some first impressions. First, I'm going to start with Whitewater VR. So I'm going to do my best to kind of not make comparisons to Kayak VR just left and right, but that's going to be really important because they're both kayaking games. And now this is just the first impressions. This is subject to change. I actually, the reason the show was a little delayed, thank you guys for your patience, was because I wanted to have a chance to jump into this and check it out, and share some gameplay and impressions. So right off the bat, the game visually looks very, very nice. They have confirmed that it uses 90 frames per second with no reprojection and eye-tracked foveated rendering. And it shows. The game is crystal clear, and it's looking really nice. Also, I am terrible at this, especially at first. This will not be the best gameplay. This is my first impressions, so I have a lot to learn. But visually, it looks really, really nice. And gameplay wise, it is a little bit more like arcadey than it is like it feels a little bit more arcadey than simulator, but it does feel like kind of an in-between. And then it does also have haptics, and one thing I really like about it is you can lean left and right. I feel like there's a heavy emphasis on using leaning to your advantage here. I didn't know this at first, so it takes me a minute to figure it out, but then you'll start seeing me kind of lean into these turns a little bit more. I was kind of just paddling for my life, and let me just say, if this was real life, I'd be dead because I was crashing into everything. I was flipping around. I was getting stuck on rocks, a lot of different stuff. But so let's just knock this out of the way real quick, because I do want to make some comparisons to Kayak VR Mirage, because that is actually a really these are two similar games. The difference here is that I think there's a little bit of trade-off for each. One of the thing that I like is that, like, kind of one of them, they're very close in many ways, especially like graphically. I would say that Whitewater VR has a little bit better graphical clarity because of the native 90 frames per second, no reprojection. There's not like the Mura that's in there. But that being said, even though it has the cleaner visual fidelity, I do think that Kayak VR has a slight edge when we're splitting hairs here, guys. I got to make sure that is crystal clear. We are splitting tiny little fiber hairs, because there's really a lot in common with these, but graphically, I think Whitewater has the edge for clarity, but Kayak VR has a little bit more of that realism to it, although this does look very nice and clear and can be actually pretty stunning at times with how dense these environments are, with how the rapids are constantly going. Still, I think I don't know if I'd give really the edge to one over the other. I think they kind of both have their strengths, and they kind of beat each other just slightly in one different way than the other. So, Kill Artist asks, how much is the Whitewater game? It is $20. It is $19.99. But so then graphically, like I said, that's the little trade-off there, is you have the more hyper realistic looking environments, the detail, the realistic lighting and everything of Kayak VR has the edge, but the clarity, I think a lot of people are going to like the visual clarity, the no reprojection, things like that. I think they're going to like a lot more in extreme whitewater rafting. Next, we have the haptics and the physics. Now, Whitewater VR does have haptics, but again, I gotta give the edge to Kayak VR here, because while it does have haptics, Whitewater, I don't think the haptics are really, I don't think they're strong enough. They don't really feel like heavy presence. They feel very light. So it does give you a little like, little bit of crunchiness while you're paddling. But I think Kayak VR is, it is like a tech demo. But it is a very impressive tech demo for the things that it does. They spent all this time on the realism and on the physics. Things like the physics, the water, everything. I'd say that Kayak VR feels a little bit more realistic, but this is where the big difference is that the big problem that everybody knows that Kayak VR has is that it's a terrible game. Like, it's an impressive tech demo, but as a game, it's not good. It is not fun. It is boring. It is push yourself along and everything. This game, gameplay wise, is a little bit like smoother and easier, and is a little bit, even though it has a little bit of realism to it, it is kind of like I said, it's kind of like that hybrid of realistic and just arcadiness. But the big separating factor between the two is absolutely the level design. This is what I wanted from Kayak VR that it never really delivered on, except for a paid DLC that lasted like 5 minutes long. This is an entire game consisting of about 5 levels. Oh, here I just wiped out really hard. Yeah, I just... that is rough, but I do like being able to push off the rocks and the walls and stuff. The level design is where I think Whitewater VR has the big edge here. Now there were times where I was kind of like, all right, like, I'm glad that this is moving. This is a little bit better. I don't know if I'm like having tons of fun, but it is a little bit at least more engaging, and it does feel like something is happening versus me just paddling in still water constantly. I really do like that each level is full of rapids and full of it does have like the time trials. There's 2 different modes. There's like free ride and then there's time attack. But I do like that. I do like the environments here. Even though Kayak has a little bit of that more realistic look to it, it is very impressive how much crap they cram into the environments in here, especially in like some levels differ than others. But the backgrounds, I mean, you can see like mountains crystal clear in the background, and sometimes there's really dense forests, which we might get to see here in a minute. But also like the levels, the levels themselves are pretty long. I mean, you can see here, I'm just on the 2nd level right here, and I'm still going. The levels here are, they're rapids, they're whitewater rapids, but they're a lot longer, which is really nice. And yeah, I think I'm doing the free ride mode, where you are timed. I don't know. It could be time attack. I'm not actually sure which mode I was doing here. I was just trying to hop in and get a feel for the game as much as possible at first, but, pretty difficult. And starting out, I highly recommend that you change. There was something that it took me a minute to find, but in the settings, I definitely think you may need to go in there and adjust your height. You can offset the height. And once I did that, the paddling felt so much better. I think I was starting out, I was really low in the kayak, a little bit too low. And so, fixing that height offset, using that height offset adjustment helped a lot. But yeah, man. So first impressions overall is that I really appreciate this game. Is kind of in a way the anti-Kayak VR, for better or worse. It has some advantages, and like I said, the graphical fidelity of this is the jungle here. This tropical jungle here was pretty. This is where I was like, whoa, okay, like this looks insane. I didn't even want to like race. Like I just wanted to float down the river. I think I started doing that here a little bit actually. I just wanted to float down the river. Visually, this level was extremely impressive, especially without using reprojection. To pull something like this off was really impressive. But yeah, I think gameplay wise, obviously this has a nice edge. It basically gives you everything that we asked for, except for maybe multiplayer. It gives you everything we asked for with Kayak VR, except it does lose a little bit of like the realistic physics, and some of the realistic looking environments. It looks very impressive, but I don't know if it's as believable realistic as as Kayak VR. So I know I said I was going to try not to compare Kayak VR to this, and that's basically all I've done. So sorry. But yeah, this jungle was very impressive. So far, like, the physics are a little bit weaker. The lighting is maybe a little bit weaker, but other than that, it's and there's not really like many unlocks to it. There's not a ton of game modes. There's not multiplayer. So it's kind of a bit of a trade-off, but I think at the end of the day, I think people will kind of just like this a little bit more as a game, and like Kayak VR as more of like a tech demo. This feels a little bit more like a game, but I will say this still does kind of feel like, okay, you could have gone more game with it. It feels like they tried their best to make a like, really high quality river, Whitewater Rapids experience. But they did leave a bit to be desired when it comes to like gamifying it. It's like, I'd rather just them go just full blown arcade with it and like have some crazy fun than, be limited to just trying to keep it like, kind of limiting or watering it down, no pun intended, for, the realistic aspect of it. But so far, first impressions are pretty good. There's it seems like only 5 levels so far that I've seen. And so unless you're like really going to replay this a bunch or go for the time attack or, showcase this to other people, I don't really know how much mileage you're going to get out of this. It's not as strenuous on the arms as Kayak VR either. So if that was too physical for you, this is definitely, it's still physical, but it's a lot less physical than Kayak. So, but a pretty cool addition to the library. I do think it's worth picking up at some point. Maybe, I don't know how I feel about this releasing during spooky season, but that's okay. I guess for those that aren't into horror games and spooky games, maybe this is something good. But maybe I've just played a lot of VR. I wasn't like completely blown away by it just yet. Here I am just wiping out completely. But I did like what I played so far. It didn't like blow my mind or anything. But I was very impressed with many different things about it. And I do think it could be a pretty good time. It's more about like to me, it feels more like aiming for an authentic Whitewater Rapids experience, which I think is what the goal was here. And I think they achieved that, versus like, hey, let's just make a really fun, crazy game. I think it's more about just providing a really cool, like VR, as close to an authentic VR Whitewater Rapids experience. And that I do think they achieved a pretty good job at. So, good stuff, man. I don't think, there's nothing, like I said, that really like, I mean, they obviously put a lot of hard work into this, a lot of work into the environments. Was a little bit of popping here and there visually, not much. Sometimes the water could be like a little bit blurry. Like I said, the physics are not like the best, but I think it's just a kind of like good, like solid average package here. for what it wants to give you. And I think there will be people that that would talk about this. Steve IRE says, I love how AJ is going on about the kayaking game and everyone in the chat is talking about Batman. Yep. The Batman game looks really, really great. I definitely, if I had a Quest 3, which I don't, I'd probably be playing it right now too. So I don't blame you. Hopefully it comes to Steam at some point and I can play it on my PSVR2, or eventually in the future I get a Quest 3S or whatever, that small one. But yeah, that's obviously a huge title that just dropped. So that's going to be garnering all the attention right now. But I'm going to work with what I got here. I think here on this level, I kind of just took it easy, chilled out. But anyways, Whitewater VR Extreme Rapids, pretty good first impressions. Like I said, I don't think it goes above and beyond in any way, but it is pretty good. Pretty good to hear, though. I'm glad to hear this has been our review for Batman Arkham VR, which the chat approves. so go buy that instead. No, but yeah, pretty decent showing here. The next one is another game that's not necessarily a spooky game. Before we move on to the next game, let's kick it over to the chat real quick, see what you guys are talking about. Talking about losing weight, playing Batman. That's good, man. That's good. I've tried, aside from having a beer tonight, I have actually started working out again, trying to get a little healthier, going on walks frequently. Walking is the new smoking, so I hear. So don't sit on your butt all day. Try to walk around, even 15-30 minutes. Just go for a walk. Get you some nice comfy shoes. And then play very active VR games. And I have a very active VR game to talk about here in just a minute. Let's see here. Actually, that's a good point. I actually do appreciate that. I will hold off on Batman, let them get some of those bugs fixed. But yeah, man, really big congrats to Camouflage. I love those guys. Ryan Payton and that team are some of the most genuine, awesome developers I've ever had the pleasure of meeting, talking to, and I really wish them the most success because they are awesome. And it makes me very happy that it sounds like they've got a winner on their hands here. Nice, Kill Artist, down 13 pounds. Let's go, homie. Twitcher asks, do we know if Whitewater supports a paddle stick attachment? I actually think it would, because the way they have it mapped to the controllers, it like naturally works together really well. I would not be surprised, and you don't got to get an actual kayak paddle, but you could probably just, I don't know, strap your orbs to a broomstick or something, and it'd probably work pretty good. Mark says, call Sony, AJ, and tell them to release Aces of Thunder, damn it. Let them cook, Mark. Let them cook. Let's see here. Let's see. Okay. All right. So speaking of physical games, while Whitewater was not the most physical game, I'll tell you what was a very, very physical game, and surprisingly good one. This game came out of nowhere. This is developed by like somebody called like Moon Meat and published by End Dreams. I'm sorry, developers, I don't remember the name. It's got the word meat in it. I remember it's meat something, but I like this. I like that. You should just change your studio name to Moon Meat, because that's a pretty good one. Vendetta Forever is here, and let me just say, guys, this is a game. This is an action shooter, and the easiest way that I can describe this right away is what was I? Oh, it's Super Whip. Okay, let me explain. You guys know Super Hot, and you know Pistol Whip. Well, I give you Super Whip, which is what they should have called this game, because it's kind of a blend of the two. Now, this game, it doesn't necessarily do anything we haven't seen before, but that being said, well, there's one thing that it does that is new and interesting, and that is, besides me getting an awesome S ranking right there, this game is kind of like Super Hot, looks kind of like Pistol Whip, has a great soundtrack. But the difference here is that the way you move in this game is by killing enemies and then grabbing their weapons. All these weapons, when they highlight blue after you kill them, you grab them and it teleports you forward. What this does is allows you to, this is like a speed runner's dream game right here. If you're into games like Super Hot and speedrunning games like Super Hot, then this is the game for you. I am actually was very, very impressed with this, especially as it got going. In my, I think I really only played about 30, 45 minutes of this, but I swear I played through like 10 different levels because these levels are like a minute each. And there's all these different like action scenarios like Super Hot, where you start out and you have to use this mechanic to eliminate all the enemies. There's different themes to them. Like, as you can see, like I'm on a pirate ship here. There's all these like old piratey weapons. There are also like throwing knives and melee that you can use at your disposal. And then if you get stuck or whatever, you either have to die or you can have the option to teleport back and forward to certain things. But here, this game can be pretty fun to actually go for like a leaderboard here and try to get the best time, try to get the best high score. And let me just say, this game, Pistol Whip and Super Hot are very physical games. This is also a very physical game. While it does support like smooth turning, snap turning, and things, this game might be best experienced if you can clear a large space and actually just rely on turning, like physically turning your body in this. You could pull off some pretty crazy stuff, and it's got a little bit of that Baba Yaga John Wick feeling to it. But yeah, man, like I said, this game, while it's nothing you've really never seen before, if you've played tons of VR games, I do like this moving mechanic because it challenges you to get faster and faster and really sharpen your skills. But there was one time real quick where I started blasting through it and it started feeling a little repetitive. And as soon as kind of it started to hit that point, then it started changing things up with the scenarios. And that started to that was like, okay, this is nice. This is fresh. This is pretty cool. So, they start introducing things like having, what is it? Like civilians that you cannot allow to die. Like, you have to save the civilians. There's around, I don't know. Okay. So you can see kind of like the objectives. This was eliminate the VIP. I like the little starting out with a pencil, nice little John Wick, nod right there. As you can see, like I'm starting to get a little bit better at the game as I'm going on. I'm getting a little bit more used to it. And you can take multiple hits. I'm playing on normal difficulty. There are a lot of different difficulty modes here. And this is all first impressions. So I am going to make mistakes and get hit and stuff. Maybe some problems with the gameplay or some places where I die. There's also a stealth option, which is pretty cool. You can actually go through an entire level being stealthy and not alerting anybody, which is nice. It kind of gives you more ways to play. And just kind of achieve what kind of experience you want to achieve. But yeah, first 30, 45 minutes of this, I have really enjoyed, and I really liked the physicality of it. I did find it to be very, very immersive. It looks great with the OLED, the PSVR2's OLED panel. The colors look nice. Mark Poppin Pringles Leaf says, "Do you get much game for your money?" That's a good question. Like I said, I played 30, 45 minutes and I blasted through what felt like, I don't know, with these levels being like a minute long. Yeah, I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it kind of depends on how much you can replay them. And also, this is something I wanted to know that I didn't actually find out in time. Maybe somebody can help us out in the chat. I don't know how many levels are in this game total, or how many different modes, things like that. But yeah, the game this game I think is going to be $20, right? This is another $19.99 game. I played something like this on to me it reminds me kind of like Pistol Whip. Like I think I paid like $15-20 for Pistol Whip and I was okay with that. Games like this really come down to like the replay value, how much you enjoy the gameplay and the experience and replaying it, wanting to beat your times, wanting to go for like a platinum trophy or something. And this strikes me, it's like Super Hot, man. Super Hot was a $25 game and you could beat the main campaign of that in like 2 hours. But if you really like exhausted everything there was to do in there, you could get a lot more time out of it. So I think mileage will vary here. But I can definitely say that I am very impressed with the gameplay. For me, this is up here with, even though it's not as original or groundbreaking, it's still fun factor wise, kind of up there with like Super Hot and Pistol Whip for me. So in that like eight to mid eights kind of territory for this. This is where things started, like I was just starting to get kind of like bored and repetitive. It was getting repetitive. And then they throw in this level, which was like a duel, which was really cool. You get one bullet to take, and you have to wait for the timer to tick down, and then you have to turn around and shoot. This is where I started to kind of appreciate this game a little bit more, introducing some variety here. And just changing up the game modes. So it first has you start out, you're just killing all the enemies, and then it introduces this duel mode, which was really cool. This was so fun and satisfying right here. And then on top of that, it starts introducing these like save the civilian scenarios. See, even though I just beat this already, I was having so much fun that I wanted to keep playing it, and it was actually kind of challenging. But yeah, man. So first impressions of Whitewater, first impressions of Vendetta Rising are really, really good. Like I said, first impressions can always change over time. And once I beat the game and really exhaust everything that there is to see in it, as well as give it some time to process, it can change. But I am definitely giving the thumbs up for this over Whitewater VR as well. I am pretty impressed with this, and the gameplay itself has been pretty fun. So I do like that it does something just slightly different, which is this kind of you kill an enemy, you grab their weapon and to move forward. And that becomes part of the strategy as well. There's definitely a million different places where you're like, okay, I could do this better. You can also grab, like right here, I grab the throwing star and throw it back at them, which is pretty cool. You can grab some projectiles like knives, throwing stars, things like that, and use them. There's a decent amount of weapon variety here. There's like assault rifles you can get. There's throwing stars. There's all sorts of different things you can use. You can even pick up lots of like glass objects, like glasses, wine bottles, throw them at enemies. So here's the no casualties one. This is where they start making things a little bit trickier. And I do like the different scenarios too. Like I said, the different scenes are the different scenes changing up the environment and the setting and everything is a nice little touch to keep things a little bit more fresh, because just as it was starting to get repetitive, then this started to get a lot better here. But you'll see here, for a first run, I have a pretty decent run, I think, here. Kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy, kill this guy. Keep going here. Oh, I think I die right here, actually. Let's see how I do here. I actually make it pretty far. I'm almost to the end here. Okay, and then watch what happens here. I have a shotgun and I miss. So the next time I make that run, I actually I make sure to have a pistol with me, and I take out that guy. So pretty good. But yeah, man, first impressions of Vendetta Forever, really, really good, actually. One of the better, kind of more arcade assassin simulators. I was very impressed. I think, who said that there? Chrome says, again, the sounds in this game are awesome and arcade-like. Love the sound design in this game. I wholeheartedly agree. Looks like Sal says, looks like a game that DLC can be easily added to make the price even better. Yep, definitely. Let's see here. Some people going through the mines in Arizona sunshine. Let's see. PJ Exego says, my favorite voice on the web, AJ. Ciao from Italy. Ciao, my friend. Good to see you. Thank you so much for the love and support. Right back at you, homie. Let's see here. I thought I saw something about... I thought I saw a comment I wanted to respond to. But yeah, this is good stuff, man. Good stuff. I, so far, from my first impressions, would recommend this one. It's pretty good. It's a little bit better than I kind of expected. I was not expecting the mechanic of teleporting when you kill the enemies and everything. So, very nice. Which brings us to the last thing that we have to talk about today, and that is, of course, wait, that's the wrong trailer. This one, No Man's Sky Curses. Sean and team Hello Games have delivered unto us once again a Halloween update just in time for spooky season. There's nothing more I love than one of my favorite games of all time getting an update to my favorite season of all time, and this has been really cool to check out so far. Now, a couple things you might notice right off the bat, though. They still do not seem to have solved the performance issues completely ever since the last update. I heard that there was maybe a bug with the water, the surface of the water. It was kind of like looking a little aliasy. But man, let me just say, there's a new expedition called Curses. And this is a much different kind of to me, this is a very much different kind of experience than I'm used to in No Man's Sky. I'm used to a lot of, this game just keeps evolving so rapidly that it's hard to even keep up with. Like, it feels so different and fresh constantly. But here's a look at some of the new things you can expect with this. Basically, a brand new expedition that is spooky themed. There's some new spectral, spooky ghost squid that go around, and you're receiving these messages. You see the text that says, "You will see us soon." This is all like in-game stuff. That's not like a message that somebody left in-game on a message pod. This is all like, there's kind of like a story with this expedition that it's trying to tell, which is pretty cool. It's just, kind of spooky themed, and it was interesting to me. I really liked the atmospheric touch here, with kind of the effects and what's going on here with this new expedition. But there's a lot of new different like things here and there that are pretty cool. The new spectral little ghost squid things are really cool, and the special effects look really nice when they're flowing around. And this campaign, you're basically doing a lot of the stuff that you're used to with the expeditions. You have these phases that you can complete. But let's take a look at some of the new features. This is Expedition 16, The Cursed. And they say, hello everyone, our last update saw players enjoying a nice chilled time fishing in No Man's Sky, but our next update couldn't be more different. As we approach Halloween, we are embracing the spookier side of the No Man's Sky universe, drawing upon threads first established way back in Atlas Rises, when ancient portals began to open and the boundaries between realities began to crumble. Today, we are announcing Expedition 16, The Cursed, where players will fight to keep a grip on reality while haunted by visions and voices from another dimension. So that's kind of where the voices come into play here. And you're in what's called the Twilight Realm. Something that's kind of interesting that they've done here as well is that there is no system warping in this. When you get in your spaceship, you can go into space, but you can't warp to another system. You're going to have to rely on following the story and using portals instead, which is pretty cool. They talk about like the haunting voices. There's this anomaly suppressor stuff that you can do. You got to like use this. There's these spectral anomalies are what these little ghost squids are talking about. And the world is like constantly, like they said, the interesting thing here is that they have like this alternate reality where you kind of like the world is turning to like day and night constantly in these different cycles, and you have to basically craft and consume these different elixirs in order to restore reality and kind of maintain your sanity and things. And it's really cool, man. It's really, really good stuff here. But there's a lot of stuff. This is not going to be spoilery. But there's a lot of cool new things, such as some boss fights, some new different like missions, rewards. There's like a what is it, like a Cthulhu kind of like suit that you can get. But dude, the new ship that you can unlock in this looks absolutely badass. The new ship that they have in this, it's supposed to resemble like a creepy alien craft kind of thing. But it actually, to me, it just kind of looks like a mini brown Millennium Falcon. But it looks really cool. It's like very wide and rounded, really cool looking ship. But yeah, man, No Man's Sky, baby. I love this game so much. Still so fun. I think they still have a couple kinks to work out. It's kind of unfortunate that they both improved as well as caused some issues with the last big huge Worlds update. Like they had better image quality but really bad performance, and then they kind of like brought down the image quality a little bit, but the performance still isn't all the way there. So they're kind of like still fixing things, it seems. But they also did tease like some PS5 Pro enhancements. So for everybody, in getting a PS5 Pro, I probably would expect some enhancements to this. For me personally, and the PS5 Pro, I gotta wait to see some major things. This would be one of the games that would tempt me to get a PS5 Pro. No Man's Sky has that power to do that. But also, we got to see like a lot of the other stuff. But it's interesting that we are getting to a point to where, we could see some major benefits from a PS5 Pro here. It still looks, I think it still looks great on a PS5. even though, you know, it has some issues, it's not enough to deter me from playing one of my favorite games of all time in VR with like fully built from the ground up VR mechanics and constant updates. I mean, I've been playing this game for literally 8 years. 8 years I've been playing this game. Absolutely insane. But first impressions on this, you know, a couple little performance things aside, I am absolutely loving this update. This is one of the more interesting expeditions to me. But highly recommend if you have No Man's Sky. It's still one of the best games on PSVR2, one of the best VR games of all time, in my opinion. I do hope that they get this kind of like performance stuff sorted out. But this expedition has been really badass so far. I can't wait to fight the bosses that they've teased. They've teased some boss battles, and obviously going to be taking you through some more spooky adventures that I cannot wait to go on. I will probably, a ghost pirate ship. Nice call out, Saul. A ghost pirate ship would be pretty sweet. That would be awesome. But yeah, man, I'm super excited about this, to jump back in maybe this weekend or some point, for spooky season. If I have the time, I will stream this. But I wanted to at least check it out, get you guys some first impressions. There's a lot of stuff that just dropped on us, and the reason I'm doing a lot of first impressions today is because we really didn't get any review keys for anything ahead of time. Literally got Vendetta and Vendetta late last night, and then Whitewater today, and which it came, like after it came out. And by the time I got home, I had a key, which was nice. So thank you, Debs, and Brian for helping with that. But then there was also this update. So three major releases this week, as well as the big new Arken Age trailer and release date announcement. And then next week, you guys, is going to be awesome with Phasmophobia, which hopefully is really awesome. But hell yeah, man. Before we get out of here, I want to interact with you guys just a little bit. So what you got? What's going on? What is new with you guys? How you doing? How you doing out there? I hope you're doing great, and I hope it only gets better for you. Later, Scott. Thank you, homie. Bye, Amzadi. Let's see here. No Man's Sky updates will continue after Death of the Universe. Let's see here. Chrome Colossus says, No Man's Sky, Rise of the Ghost Lord. Please no. Please no. Dude, that's the thing about Phasmophobia is like, that's going to be, that's like the Ghostbusters I always wanted. Let's see here. Twitcher AJ waiting on evidence. Says same AJ waiting on evidence of substantial VR boost. I don't care about flat screen games. They already look good enough. They did 10 years ago, to be honest. Yeah, I need VR enhancements to make me go out and get a PS5 Pro 100%. The good thing is that it seems like there are going to be some. They already said that like PSSR was going to be supported, but not at launch. That's going to come later. But, you know, I need more. You know, I want to see, we've already seen some devs like Kayak VR. I mean, look, I really don't care if Kayak VR gets even better graphics. Like, that's not going to help the game. But yeah, like I would like to see No Man's Sky get a boost. That would be a big one. A lot of people talking about Gran Turismo 7, you know, getting a native 90 frames per second boost. That would be pretty cool. Mark Poppin' Pringles Leaf says I probably won't be getting a PS5 Pro. I definitely won't be getting one at launch. But like I said, if there is enough incentive for me, then I absolutely will. And incentives, I mean VR support. I do not play flat screen games anymore. I will instead put that money towards a PC upgrade, hopefully in the next month, and upgrade my PC so that, you know, when in between big PSVR2 releases, I can go back to enjoying stuff like Final Fantasy VII Remake and UEVR and Silent Hill 2 and Metal Gear Solid and all this other stuff. No, definitely not every PSVR2 is going to get a boost from the PS5 Pro, because devs have to go in there and patch their game, and a lot of them look great already. Twitcher says, AJ, will you be coming as Ghost Space Pirate Panda for Halloween Gamescast again this year? You know, for like 3 years now, I've had a Halloween costume inspired by Swordsman VR that I still haven't yet done to this day. Maybe I can try to pull it off. When is Halloween? Halloween is, it's Thursday, next Thursday. I may end up doing a costume on Monday, because I may not be able to do a show next Thursday, but I'll see if I can get my costume this weekend and do it. And I will let you, the chosen ones, the underground soldiers, know. I would like to, my dream Halloween costume for a Gamescast Monday, if I can pull this off, is inspired by Swordsman, my Swordsman character, and it is the Samurai Pirate. I think, I don't know. It's just, it makes no sense. It's ridiculous, and I love it. And it's also my character in Swordsman. So that's what I would like to do, is the Samurai Pirate, the unstoppable Samurai Pirate. RoboCop would be a great costume, Steve Irie. One of the greatest movies of all time. Still to this day, I think RoboCop. We need a RoboCop VR, official RoboCop VR. Salvador says, AJ the Kraken. I could come dressed as a Kraken. That would be a pretty good costume. You could get really creative with that. I'm sure you could come up something very creative for a Kraken costume, and make and either do it legit cool or just be absolutely silly with it. I have a very good imagination, and a very big imagination. I don't know if it's good or not, but a very big imagination, and I'm already brainstorming ideas here for a Kraken costume. Twitcher says, more excited for Arken than Metro or Alien, although I'm still very excited for them too. Very nice. That's a Kraken with a K, not a C. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to tell what my most anticipated game is. For this year alone, like I think Behemoth and Alien. I think Behemoth, Aliens, and Metro are the big three for me that I'm like, no, dude, there's Hitman coming. Hitman is huge. Like, I wanted to do like a top 10 upcoming games list, and I'm like, dude, I don't even know. Like, there's some badass stuff on the way. I don't even know what I'm most excited about, because I was most excited about Behemoth and Alien and like maybe Metro, and then Hitman gets announced, and it's like, well, shit. Like, that's going to be amazing. That is like something I will absolutely want to replay quite a bit, as long as it's good, assuming it's good, which I think it will be. Jeremy the NES rookie says Zombie Army. I'm looking forward to Zombie Army. I really, really liked Sniper Elite. You know, I don't think it's going to be a flawless game, but I think it's going to be very fun still. Looper asks, Looper the Underground Game Cat, elite name squad in the house. Let me put some respect on your name, Looper. Says, have you seen that RE7 physical cover? I heard people talking about it. I didn't actually see it. I don't think I thought from what I saw, it seemed more like a placeholder for the VR that was more to do with just having a placeholder for the VR that it has VR1 support. You know, it throws things off having VR1 support. That being said, please, for the love of God, bring back Resident Evil 7 on PSVR 2. That is an absolute must. It's one of the greatest things. If that never happens, I will, however, gladly play Resident Evil with the 7 again with the VR mod and have hands, because that's the only way to really make that game different. Although it doesn't need to be. It was perfectly fine on PSVR 1, but I do think there could be some improvements with a stronger, with a a computer now, and the two hands mod. That could be pretty sweet. I really like the Resident Evil 2 mod a lot. And of course, we know the greatness that is Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village. So good. Magnum Gaming says, I'm still upset Arizona Remake does not have a touch detection grip options in like Into the Radius. I'm surprised how many people really, that really care about that touch detection grip option, the hybrid grip option, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a cool feature and all, but I don't know if it's just not something that ever really stood out to me. I think Into the Radius, I don't know if any game it will matter as much as Into the Radius. Into the Radius was the first game to make me go, let me throw on the Into the Radius trailer here. Into the Radius was the first game to make me go, oh, like I do actually get it with this touch grip option here. That being said, I think I still used kind of like the hybrid one. So I get it because of Into the Radius, but beyond that, like, I don't know. It's not something that like I'm like every single game needs, because typically when I grab something, I squeeze down. Like if I'm gripping something, I'm squeezing down on it. I'm not gently holding it in my hand. So I don't know. Magnum Gaming says you can toss stuff better. Interesting. I didn't think about that. Yeah, I don't know. Tossing in VR has definitely always been kind of weird. Oftentimes you have to like push stuff forward and let go. Chrome Claw says, I cannot rank my excitement for these titles. I'll save that for reviews. Yeah. Twitcher is 120 hours into the Radius. Holy crap, my friend. Nice one, man. That is one I need to get back and beat. I'm about 70% through it. But yeah, I haven't actually beaten it yet. Definitely not 120 hours. I think I am like 20 hours into it though. 25 hours, something like that. But yeah, Into the Radius was awesome. Super good. Oh, all right, guys. Well, I think on that note, we are going to call it there. But thank you so much for coming out and just hanging out tonight, having a good time as always, and being yourselves. You guys are the absolute best. Pietrek F giving another shout out to Batman VR. Again, congrats to our friends over there at Camouflage. Yes, they are our friends. They are amazing people, and I hope they find lots of success. It sounds like they got a winner, like I said. But super exciting. Next week, we have Phasmophobia to look forward to for spooky season. Really, really excited about that. And then just whatever else may come our way. We'll be ready for it, man. We'll hopefully, like I said, have some more Patreon content. Shout out to the Patreon supporters down there. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Nihilist Ryan, my metal feline friend with the solo dono today. Thank you, man. Your guys' support, whether it be Patreon, whether it be donations, whether it be just watching or hitting the like or subscribing, things like that really do help and go a long way. So I appreciate how supportive you guys are all the time. You guys are really amazing. Like your support, it means a lot to me, man. And I don't take a minute of it for granted. I'm like, wow, like, sometimes I'm like still blown away by like, just the success that we've had here. It's been awesome, man. I'm loving this ride. And we're just getting started as always. Well, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the night. Hope you have a fun and safe Halloween spooky weekend. Hopefully I'll get some more streams off. I still really want to do a dub hell feature of Hellsweeper and Metal Hellsinger VR. Hope to get that going. Maybe it'll have to be this weekend if I can. But yeah, man, thank you to everyone. Thank you to the moderators. Appreciate each and every one of you. Y'all have a wonderful rest of the night, and I'll see you again very soon. PSVR2 hype. Let's go.